Hey, bro, don't forget, it ain't the first 48, bro. It's 60 minutes, bro.
We heard a whole lot of lip service, but hey, anybody can do that. But between them lines,
come with the king, you best not miss. Even the score now, we need to score now. Back on that wall, when you hear that call, you know it's going down. We play from beginning to ending, you know how we finish. Turn to the bank, gotta handle our business. We need the ball, so it's time to go get it. Play with your heart when you hit, make like, who you with? You know I'm with. You come to the bank and get out of line, we sending a blitz. Say who you with? You know I'm with. That purple and black, and when we attack, you know what it is.
You're now locked in Zone 32.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another 2-episode podcast, episode 117. We got my guy Will with us, Drew. We got a new guy with us, BT. Shout out to BT. We missing a few. Grant, Grant be back soon. Jake.
Grant is not doing a good job. Beat the not a real person allegation. So, just something to monitor.
Yeah, and Jake, my man Jake somewhere, I don't know.
Jake hates America. Leaves for 4th of July. That's why he lives in California.
He in Canada right now?
Probably in Mexico would be my guess. It's a little closer to where he is.
But this episode, I'm tripping. But this week, we got 20 days to training camp? No, my bad, 19. Start the 21st.
We're on Rashod Bateman watch until then. Is what we're on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he claims he's gonna make that trip to South Florida and see Lamar.
I'm sure we could go pull the
time
sound.
is ticking.
I'm sure we could go pull the sound because I know we recorded shortly after he gave that fucking interview. Everybody was jerking him off for saying like, "Oh, this is great, first step towards accountability, blah blah blah." And I said he should shut the fuck up and get away from the microphone and stop doing this shit to himself. And then here we are, and this is 100% his fault. That he's even a topic of discussion right now is that he was too fucking stupid to follow through on the words that he put out in public. Nobody held a gun to it and told him that, to say that his lack of chemistry with Lamar was because he didn't show up at off-season workouts and was hurt for training camp. He did that all on his own. And now here he is, again, not showing up to work out with Lamar in the off-season. So, fuck him.
Yeah, and you got fans crying in the comments talking about he works out private. Like, okay, he works out private.
If he just shut his fucking mouth, didn't specifically say he had chemistry issues with Lamar last year because he didn't work out with him in the offseason, we're not talking about it. I don't really care if he goes to Florida with Lamar, to be totally honest. It's more important that he's healthy, present for training camp. But don't say that I'm going to do this thing and that me not doing this thing in the past is a big reason why we don't have chemistry, and then just don't do it again.
He was the only wide receiver that wasn't Florida. Even Tez Walker was there.
Right. They're all, again, Lamar's your franchise quarterback. Fucking show up to Florida. It's not that hard.
And my thing is, when a wide receiver, some shit like that, say back in the day, if you had T.O., Lamar, I can go on and on, Larry Fitzgerald, if they did shit like that, we already know when the regular season come, what they gonna do, they gonna produce. But him, he ain't even producing, nothing
Right, he's got a Hall of Fame attitude and
he
fucking
got one
wide receiver 12.
He got one more receiving touchdown than Derrick Henry.
That is bad.
That's very bad.
And then he set up. I don't know. He probably liked it. Damn, I'm a bum. Keep talking about me, but at the end of the day, it ain't like we trying to shit on him, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
I'm bored talking about him at this point, to be honest.
Right.
Because
it's the same fucking conversation every goddamn time.
Every week. Stupid fucking people still fight on it. Again, when I said he should shut his fucking mouth and play football, everyone's like, no, you're wrong. You're a hater. Blah, blah. And it's like, but this is what happens when you shut his mouth and play football. And then even now I had people fighting about what his words are. He was just
that was crazy.
And
that was insane.
But see, and it wasn't just Spencer; it was other people, in the comments saying, you don't know what he meant. You don't know what the fuck he meant. I was like, I'm reading his words. This is.
It was very obvious what he meant because it was in sequence. It's and to be very clear, training camp is not the off season; it's the preseason. That is there is a clear line of delineation between working out with Lamar on your own before training camp, which you have to go to, which he learned he learned it the hard way. You got to go. Otherwise, you risk, voiding all these mechanisms that the Players Association lobbied for to get into the CBA. So he's missing out on his 5th-year option. He wouldn't have gotten it, but he voided that even he would get the chance to get that 5th-year option. And now he gave this interview talking about the off season. The off season is from February through whenever you report to camp, and what you do in that time to get ready for the season. Preseason is the beginning of the next season. That's what it is. That's when training camp starts. When you walk in the building to training camp, your season has started, right? So everything you've done before that is either an OTA or something that you went ahead and did on your own. Obviously, he's working out. He's a professional athlete. It's part of his fucking job. But his job is to also develop as a professional, and he hasn't done the work required to develop into the player that everybody expected him to be. At this point, their expectations are very low, but everyone expected him to be a guy who was much further along than he is right now. And a huge reason for that is he hasn't spent time with Lamar in the offseason. Now, if you want to nitpick and say it's because he was hurt, rehabbing, whatever, fine. But he isn't rehabbing right now. He isn't hurt right now. And in past years when he wasn't hurt and he did it, it didn't really translate either. So he just hasn't put in enough work.
He only did
right,
one
that's what I'm saying.
time. And fans keep posting
exactly.
that same old video. Like Rashod Bateman is 7 now. He don't wear 12 no more. You zoom up and look on the back of his helmet, you see that big ass T right there. Like, I just get tired of that shit. My thing is, like, I look at it like this, right? Because, like, us as fans, we want to win the Super Bowl, right? Like, that's the goal. Like, fans, they sit up here and want a dick ride or whatever you want to call it. Oh, Bateman, this is year. We've been saying that for how many years now? Like,
yeah, it was fucking James
me?
Prochet's year, and it was
you feel me? It's the same
Jaleel
shit
Scott's
over and
year.
over. Now the thing is, the best they do is go out there and prove us wrong, right?
So Will and I had a strong the draft because Will used some retarded word to describe Tez Walker and how it benefited Rashod Bateman. And while we were arguing, agreed that like the best thing about adding other wide receiver team is that it lowers expectations for Rashod Bateman. Therefore, you're not focusing on Rashod Bateman as a fan. And when he does anything, it's going to be good, and you're going to forget about the negative. There's not going to be a lot of negative because there's no focus on him. And he continues to put the focus on himself by not doing, like, showing up. So he is just a fucking moron.
But see, the thing, I hate them damn foul words. But the thing is, right, like, I look at it like this, right, bro? Like, we know it's the off season, right? Like, every fan, even fucking Ray Charles, we wonder. Every blind person in America can see that the chemistry is off. Why not work with him? I'm just being real with you. Why not work with him? Like, I hate to comment, and I wasn't even gonna comment on Bobby post the other day, but sometimes I be trolling. I said, where's 7 at? Here come all these fans. Oh, he's working out private, this and that. Bro, every time I see Lamar working out, Pete Cunningham, Zay Flowers, Tez Walker, you get what I'm saying? Like,
I would just like the record to show too that like Will and I were in the thick of that. Right after that post came.
Is he motivated? Like,
No,
that's
he's
what I'm
not.
saying. Like,
he doesn't care about football.
You see what I'm saying?
Does not
like
care about football.
even when Mo was going at with him, like
he doesn't
some
care.
fans,
He does not
but
fucking care.
You can tell he care. He like, man, something about the Super Bowl. He like like laughing and shit. Like, that shit funny. Like,
I mean, you're getting
funny.
lectured by a kid who doesn't speak English and Lamar Heisman telling you that you're fucking you to step your shit up. And you're like, haha. If Mo made fun of me and said, Drew, you're a terrible accountant, I'd fucking smack him and, be a better accountant. Wouldn't be sitting here fucking laughing about it on Twitter. I wouldn't be downloading pics of Will at Orioles and then tweeting him to the wrong person either. Like,
and cropping Trippy out of the picture.
Out of it. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of tired of talking to him, but also he just continues to do shit that makes him a topic of discussion in a negative light. And it's like even him not doing something now. It's like he's at the point where he has to do the right thing all the time right now. He has to. Or
he's put himself in that position.
Do not draw attention to yourself by fighting with Mo on Twitter and fighting with me on Twitter and fighting with people on Twitter and then not showing up. You put a fucking target. You put a target.
You already know what he's going to do. The same bitch ass shit that he did week 5 last year.
Yeah,
if he don't put these,
fucking Twitter,
he's going to activate his fucking Twitter, and he's going to be crying like a little bitch.
I mean,
And I ain't gonna lie.
when did J.K. Dobbins his feelings hurt last year? So he had the whole fucking dust up with me where he's like, "I'm gonna come to your house and beat the shit out of you,"
When
whatever.
he got hurt.
I feel like that
But
was
then-
like
But that was
that was like June 3rd or something. It was like
That was somewhere
early
in
June.
summertime. I
That was
remember.
mid-June, and then he did the hold in at training camp because he didn't show up like he was supposed to, and that's when he got in his fucking feeling and was miserable for the rest of the year until he got hurt. But I mean that's the path Bateman's going down now. Is that you had your little dust up with the fans on Twitter? You act like you posted that retarded Drake video where he's like, the haters and the non-believers and all this shit. He's acting like he's going to break out this year, and then he doesn't show up. He doesn't put in the work. And then when it doesn't translate, when he's not good on the field, it's going to be a whole shit show. It's going to be an emotional little bitch about it, and it's all his fault. He's done all this to himself.
That motherfucker said, "Yeah, I was shocked that I got a contract extension."
That was a wild soundbite from him.
It really was.
To be honest with you, I thought I was. And this motherfucker.
To be honest with you, a lot of people around the building get traded.
Yeah.
He was not alone in that sentiment.
But like I said,
when he posted that workout video, we had heard things. Will and I know, like specifically had heard things before that. And then he posted the workout video in Arizona. I'm like, oh shit, like this is real. Like they're gonna get rid of him. Thank fucking God. And then all of a sudden the extension news comes out, and a lot of people were shocked by that. And again, that is buying what he thinks might be a wide receiver 2 at wide receiver 3 and 4 prices, because
I think he was doing him a favor.
Well, he was him somewhat of a favor, but the Ravens could deal out of that too.
Well, yeah, and it also it now makes Bateman a very tradable asset. If he is playing well, and we can flip him for something like
that's like
if
going
he's
to the
playing
flea
well,
market for a wide receiver.
He's tradable, and you're paying market rate for a wide receiver 3 and wide receiver 4 for a guy who knows your system for the most part and wide receiver 4 production. I would say is really not much of a stretch for him. So you're paying that much to a guy who has upside, and and again, he's kind of like he owes the Ravens. His fucking, and I don't know if it was Rashod or he's going to blame his agent. I'm sure whoever fucked up the whole not showing up to camp thing invalidates your 5th-year option. Whatever caused that entire nightmare, like the Ravens were like, we'll do right by you. So do right by us. He has not done right by them at the moment, but
no. Well, and so I think that contract turns Bateman. If Bateman plays above the pay grade of that contract, then we're in a good position because we have a guy who's outperforming his salary, and we have him under control for 3 years.
What we should have called this offseason for Bateman was lowering the bar off, because you've taken away.
It's true.
Yeah, you've taken away the first-round pick stigma from him because you gave him a second contract that is not in line with what a first-round pick. It's significantly less. So now, in order live up to his paycheck, his standards are significantly lower. You've added Tez Walker, who does the one thing that Rashod Bateman was relied on to do well. So you've minimized his role there. You've basically taken away a big part of his game that he was getting fucking killed for not doing correctly. You've essentially spent all offseason the buyer and he still continues to come in under it.
Yep.
All right, man.
Yeah. So, it puts us in a.
Hey, bro, hold up. Fuck that, yo. I ain't gonna lie, not to cut you off, bro. Come on, man. Too much time, bro. Talking about show. Let's go to another topic, bro. I know I brought it up, bro. Man. Nah, real shit, bro. Fuck you today, man. If he don't produce, he already know.
We should treat him like a wide receiver.
That's
from
what
now
I'm saying,
on.
bro.
Like.
All I'm going to say about it, though, is dude has a lot of wasted potential at this point, and if he outperforms, great. We can get trade capital. If not, then that just gives us grounds to cut his ass.
No, I agree. He just no longer is a factor until next.
Every option's on the table. Every option's on the table.
Pretty much.
Every option's on the table with him. If he's playing well, we can keep him. If he's playing really well, we can keep him. Or we can flip him, trade him, really maximize his value. If he plays like shit, we can cut him after this year, and we're not on the hook for anything beyond this year. I believe. Or
talking about he gonna have a big season this year, and he the only motherfucker ain't working out.
That's the fucking kiss of death, by the way. I mean, how many times did John get in front of a fucking microphone and say, "Oh yeah, this is James Prote's year"? At least twice.
Zay Flowers was running. Zay Flowers, he going in his 2nd year, bro. Do you understand?
So speaking of Zay, 4, I got a concerning thing with Zay that I'd like to bring up.
By week 4,
all right,
what is it? Way more better stats than Bateman.
So Trippy, there was a certain wide receiver here who I had quite a history with, who was a big fan of filming himself running up hills, and Zay Flowers just did that. I'm somewhat concerned. I don't know. I mean, if Zay Flowers starts posting 4 a.m. Jugs Machine videos, like we might.
Hey
have to have
yo,
a serious talk.
I saw the post. He was like, "Yeah, I guess the Jug Machine next," but
Yeah, if that happens, I'd be kind of terrified, being honest.
I mean, playing football, hills is like a part of the workout for real. But I ain't really like between James Prochet and Zay. Like James was just running.
All right,
Like,
can somebody? I have these sunglasses on. I see Montante said something.
Derrick Henry should spell Gus. Gus should be number 1, considering Gus.
Is everything spelled correctly in that to start off with?
It looks like it.
Well,
Derrick
congratulations,
Henry
Michael. You finally learned how to speak the English language. But yeah, Gus Edwards is not in Baltimore anymore. Chief.
Yeah, he's over in what? Los
he went
Angeles?
to the Chargers. He went to the Ravens West, aka the Chargers. But
yeah.
and
here's a comment about the actual topic on hand.
Interesting point, Montante. Yeah,
from Sway.
Difference between fucking
great point.
Prochet was ass.
Great point.
I don't know. I just think Prochet was ass. I just think he ain't get the opportunity though.
Trippy.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Come on. Trippy at one point.
I'm being real. If
Trippy, he had more penalty yards than he had receiving yards 1 year.
Our boy Sway
he threw into quintuple coverage and threw an interception when he had the opportunity to just do anything.
I had about 14 beers that game, and I'm positive left-handed I could have made a better throw than that, and I'm a righty.
I think all of us could.
Or you talking about? Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that was a bonehead play though.
That was the most horrific.
You're talking about that's really the only remarkable thing that happened with him on the field. Except for him dropping that Hail Mary.
Bro, Prochet hasn't registered a single receiving yard since he left Baltimore.
Remember the playoff game? I think it was that he stepped out of bounds, but you couldn't see him on camera. He came back in, caught the ball, had like a 40-yard run after the catch. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I'm gonna have to eat so much shit on Twitter because of this fucking play. I was like, James Prochet finally looks like he knows what he's doing, and I see the flag. I'm like, wonder what that was for. And they show it. He ran like 10 yards out of bounds before he came back in.
Yep, that sounds about right.
I mean, I don't know. I was just saying that because I feel like
I'll give Prochet credit. He worked hard. He just wasn't good.
No, I just feel like the Ravens ain't never really give him like an opportunity. Like,
yeah, but that's the problem.
They gave him all the opportunity, bro.
He wasn't a great moment offense though.
But we had like Deshaun Jackson and Des Bryant getting snaps over him.
Looks like we
have a special guest.
Christ.
All right, I'm in. What's up, boys?
The doctor. Yeah, what's up, the doctor?
He's seated.
What's going on? I'm gonna sit down for this one too, fellas.
They tell your little ass like a wrestler.
Where have you been?
Man, on hard.
Will ain't invited me on in months, man. Years.
You actually were not coming back on because I believe I called you mentally handicapped and it hurt you.
That's probably.
I don't remember I specifically which instance I called you retarded. You caught wind of. It's been multiple, but
yeah.
I'm too sober for this.
I joined right in for James Prochet conversation.
Yeah, Trippy,
it's a Zay Flowers conversation, but.
Yeah. He tried to defend Prochet and say that he was, screwed over by the Ravens. He didn't get a chance. I had to put him.
I think Prochet. If Prochet had been drafted by like the Chiefs, I think he'd put up like 40 catches, 500 yards. I think he'd be.
But if I was drafted, I'd put up 40 catches and 500 yards. It's not like that.
Hold on, why you saying that though? Is you saying that because the way how the Ravens offense set up though? Because if you think about it, right. If you go way back, we drafted receivers. We always drafted decent receivers that was cool in college, but it was just based on how our offense was set up. You could never really develop them. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I was going to say. They just don't develop receivers.
I mean, the Chiefs.
Hopefully now they do, but historically
if you put Prochet or some of these guys who, have sucked here on teams that threw the ball 800 times a year, like they get more catches because there's just more volume to go around. Doesn't necessarily make them just get more looks because they throw the ball significantly more.
I mean, I feel like if the Chiefs had our wide receiver bowl,
I like how you put and then took it down because you don't want hurt your ego that people hurts Will's ego. People like me more than like him. Hunter Renfrow is a free.
I don't care about that. I don't care about frogs.
This Celts Ravens show is also shouting out Dr. Morse.
No, he said cook him, which I did. I accused him of writing Adderall scripts to teenagers for sexual favors and money. So
my 10 had show.
I don't want no hell no. Fuck no.
Will, this is where Will backed himself into a corner last time because he said he didn't want any white wide receiver and he came on the next week.
No. I said no white balding midgets. I said no white balding midgets.
Well, I have the clip. You said I do not want any Caucasian. You did not specify.
He could be a special team.
I did specify.
You did not specify at the time. You specified after the fact when you were trying to, shoehorn your Notre Dame retard into the mix. Didn't work.
Okay, that guy Ben Skowronek is a more productive player than Tylan Wallace. He's also 6'3", 225 pounds, and Tylan Wallace plays big. Tylan Wallace is fucking 5'10", 190 pounds. So I would rather have a big guy.
Look at the
who's defending Crochet?
I liked Wallace coming out of college.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I thought Wallace was going to be something coming out of college.
I'm pretty sure the bar and Wallace wouldn't take a picture with him or something. There's some personal beef with.
He got a twin. That's why
I don't think he's very good. To be fair, I'm not.
His twin brother probably was messing with one of Will's cousins.
Skowronek is a damn stud. He's right. Jesus Christ, Montante.
Look, hey Will, all I gotta say is, right, if Tylan Wallace was playing on the Rams, he probably put up similar numbers as whatever that dude name is or better. Like Tylan Wallace ain't no scrub, bro. Like he was tough coming out of college. He another one.
I don't give a fuck about college. I don't give a fuck about college, man.
I'm with Tripp though. I think somewhere else. I thought Wallace was going to be like Steve Smith 2.0.
That's what I'm saying. You missing.
See, this is the sickness of being a Ravens fan. We're all like, oh yeah, they'd be better somewhere else. Not fucking necessarily, because guess what? We've had a lot of guys who suck here leave, and they fucking suck everywhere else too.
You're missing a point. If they went to the Chiefs or somebody that throws the ball more often, that's what I'm saying.
Montana, I agree. He is a number 2 arena receiver.
We're talking about James Prochet, bro. He's with the Browns.
James Prochet went to the Browns.
They already got receivers.
The Browns throw the ball. He hasn't caught a fucking pass.
Because they already got
their quarterback receivers.
He was also a punt returner and fumbled the ball against it against.
He fucking stinks.
He owed us.
All right. I got one. What about Chris Moore? Chris Moore went to
in this house. We stand
putting up numbers.
Oh, we got to get Chibs.
No,
we got to get Chibs on here.
We got to get Chibs on. It's a Chris Moore season for 5 seasons in a row.
Hold on.
What about Chris Moore? Pretty sure Chris Moore had his best season here.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think Chris Moore. He did what he could here. I don't think he.
Bro, he was fucking us up in London until Kyle Hampton knocked his ass.
I mean, he had 424 yards last year.
Chris Moore is also to blame for that fucking 4th and 12 game.
That's cool with the other receivers that was on the team. You still had Watkins, not Watkins, my bad, Hopkins.
Hey Drew.
I see. I would be an elite NFL. I'd catch everything. There's no shot. I'd need like a whole blocking point in front of me. But it's fine.
Hold on, just real quick to clarify here. His best year in terms of yardage output is 2022 in Houston.
Yeah, it was Houston.
He had 548 and 2 touchdowns. And he had 48 catches. So that was statistically his best year. But with us in 2017, he had 3 touchdowns. So I think it's kind of a wash there. Yeah, I think touchdowns matter.
Yeah, that's a straight up wash.
He did average 19 a catch last year, which is fucking shocking.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He was going off like Chris Moore. When his numbers called, he definitely but
again, 4th and 12 game does not happen if Chris Moore can catch. Man. So he tipped that.
I just hope he show up. Maybe he get.
I'm still pissed off about that 4th and 12.
Maybe he'll just prove us wrong. Maybe he'll have us shutting the fuck up this year. I don't know. But
Elijah Moore would be your second best wide receiver.
Elijah Moore would be wide receiver 2 on this team. He would be 100%. You're right.
That's like winning a gold medal at the Sticks, though. So that's not really.
I'm just saying that's not an incorrect statement. Elijah Moore is a better wide receiver.
I wonder if
than Rashod Bateman
and on the Jets anymore.
Who really?
He said they traded him for a bag of chips.
Though. Yeah, I know, but
Elijah Moore is on the Browns, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We just signed another for what I don't know to do Kirkwood.
Yeah, wrong.
He's a camp body.
Wrong former.
So look, let's
Kirkwood, I think his name is, or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next topic though. Let's talk about the offensive line, right? I know y'all ain't big on PFF, but man, we like a bottom 5 offensive line, right? And just hear me out, right? Because I was sitting here thinking the other day, like, man, we got 3 new starters.
That's why we're bottom 5 on PFF.
No. Right. But it's cool. It's cool. But I'm sitting here thinking, right, like, we're going to have 3 new starters, right? But look at the first 4 teams we play. Like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, we played it, they got a tough D-line. So now we're going to have basically like
wearing freak Karlaftis. Sucks.
We're gonna have 3 new starters on the offensive line. Their first game going against Chris Jones, and then look, hear me out. It's our home opener. We can't sleep on Max Crosby. We can't sleep on that new dude they just signed. What's the boy name from the Dolphins? Wilkins.
Yeah. See, the problem is Max Crosby's gonna be extra motivated that week because he does not like Lamar for certain reasons.
Jesus Christ! Fucking Gunnar Henderson just struck out again.
Yeah, he on the slump.
You might
as well just start taking him live to strike out. But week 3 we played the Cowboys. Their D-line tough. You see what I'm saying? Then look,
there's internal strife in that Cowboys locker room.
Yeah, that Cowboys team I think is going to.
I mean, Malik Hooker's on fucking some random ass podcast talking about how Micah Parsons would be like 8th in line to get paid, and he's not that good. That was a fucking wild statement for a player to make. He was right that CeeDee Lamb should get paid first, but his rationale for why Parsons. He said Dak.
But CeeDee probably don't even want to be there no more.
No, CeeDee Lamb to the Ravens confirmed.
Hey Drew, I was just about to say, bro, how do you love that though, bro? Look, well, I don't know if EDC might adore it. Like, man, we sent Rashod Bateman to Dallas. Like,
see, I'm looking at Yahoo Sports' article with the PFF ranking on the whole offensive line, going back to the topic that Trippy started going to. As far as our starting, Tyler Linderbaum ranked 6th in the center position. Kevin Zeitler was 18th. John Simpson was 50th. Morgan Moses, surprisingly, was 15th in tackles. Patrick McCarry, 31st, and Ronnie Stanley, 47th.
Damn, Ronnie.
I have some confidence in the Ravens' ability to cobble together a line, though. Like the line seems to always be a worry, and it's always at least fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean there are
and
the glaring holes.
And we did have one of the comments that was up there made a valid point. Our offensive line now is a bunch of like corn-fed white boys who are going to be fucking thrilled in the fall when our election occurs.
Yeah,
they're going to be real happy about the outcome of that election.
Or they'll be at the Capitol if they don't like it, like last time.
I'm not worried about the line.
No. See, and the thing about it, though, is...
Brandon just squashes the political talk immediately.
Well, here's the thing, is I hate both fucking sides, man.
I mean, we're just...
Jake doesn't let us talk about COVID.
Yeah. Oh, COVID.
Yeah, that's
COVID.
Does Jake still wear a mask? Is Jake a masker?
No, Jake is like, if you say COVID, the guy's going to come shoot you in the face kind of guy. like afraid to put it over.
Jake's a libertarian, yeah.
He's like, if I say COVID out loud, they're going to pin me down and shoot me up with fucking Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, whatever the other fucking ones are.
See, I had someone I know almost died from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah, Jake's going to fucking like boycott the podcast next week now. Yeah, this is I mean, I had one of the most, prolific pro-vaxxers in my car while we were driving home. I was yelling at Kyrie Irving for being retarded and not taking the vaccine. So
I just got the first 2 shots.
That I was going to say the ironic thing is everybody was scared of the Moderna shit, but it was the Johnson & Johnson, like the traditional vax that was fucking people up.
Well, I mean, who?
I got the Moderna shots.
The one that was like,
what was
one
the
and
other
done.
one?
Pfizer.
That's
what I got the Pfizer.
I got the Dolly Parton vaccine.
I wasn't going to get it at first. I think my mother convinced me to get it. I was like, all right.
Wow, we took a real hard left turn here.
That's what I got my doctorate was during COVID.
Yeah.
That's why we got the doctor on, yeah.
People forget that Tom thought that all of America was going to die 3 weeks after COVID came to the country.
That's when I got my MD.
Tom filled out some fucking Excel spreadsheet of like disease
This
carrying.
is the time when we miss Jake because Jake get us back on track.
Yeah, Jake talks about.
But anyway, back to the O-line.
Combination of you, Trippy, and Brandon. Yeah.
I know, but no, we can get back to the though. My bad, Brandon. But,
see, no, it's all good. Offensive line is my bread and butter, so.
Hold on, no purebloods here, and he called us sheep. Yeah, Montante, I've seen your vaccine for the record. People have shown me it. So.
This guy in the comments reminds me of Jake.
Oh yeah, no, he's way. He had a podcast talking about flat and all this other wild shit. So,
is that you making all that noise, Tom?
Nah, my shit's muted when I hit
somebody was trying to have their house broken.
Yeah, somebody got the sheriffs at the door or some shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, they fucking heard us talking about COVID.
It sounded like somebody had a staple.
Jake was right.
You didn't hear that shit?
Yeah, they came to take somebody.
I don't know. It might have been me.
But the offense line, though, I don't know, man. Y'all might think I'm crazy for this, though, but, like, I'm not a big Pat McCarvey fan at tackle. I like last year, week 4 against the Browns. Oh, shit, what the hell? Hello?
Oh, is that? Can y'all hear my dog? Can y'all hear my dog?
Yeah.
So that's what it was the whole time.
Let me put his ass in the crate. Hang on.
I didn't hear anything.
You know what? Hey,
I went ahead and muted him just until he came back.
Fucking great.
Hey, Will, I think I changed my Dallas. That dog sound big as shit, yo. Ooh.
Tom's got two Dobermans.
I'm good on that. But
I might be going to Tampa this week.
But
I ain't gonna lie,
yeah,
bro,
with Patrick McCarry at tackle, I'm still kind of iffy. I like him more at the center and guard positions.
Right. That's
how long are we talking McCarry at? Are we talking?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we thinking he's starting any long period of time?
I don't think so. I think
I don't either.
From what I was hearing, though, like trust like for Lele or Rosengardner, they might just have to go with. McCarvey week 1, which is not a problem. But my thing,
I think it's fine short term.
But bro, he was fucked up last year by Myles Garrett.
By Myles Garrett, he's the best defensive end.
He was defensive player of the year for a reason.
Block Lawrence Taylor. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Patrick
McCarry. You can do a lot worse than Patrick McCarry as a backup tackle in this league. Right, but if he's your starter,
look at how many scrubs he beat for 120 career sacks. Every guy who got beat off the edge by six.
Try for Lele, one of them. Maybe
he's not starting. McCarry's not going to start.
Yeah, if Lele's not starting,
McCarry
might start a game.
I think they're going to end up starting that new draft pick, that Rosengarten.
Yeah,
100%.
Makes sense, but 100%. It's like you got to get through camp. You got to, I'm sure there's going to be some veterans that end up being available. Like if the Ravens don't think who they have in house right now is capable of starting, there will be movement.
Oh, absolutely.
I think, like Tom said, have done a pretty good job when their envisioned starters are healthy. They've done a pretty good job of fielding an offensive line that can at least get the job done.
That's what maybe they usually scrap some shit together.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you go into a top 5, top 10 offensive line. Somebody gets hurt, somebody isn't what they're supposed to be, but they're usually still top half of them. It's not we're not when Lamar gets his ass by he has constant pressure in his face. It's usually one-off game, and usually they end up being like our biggest games of the year, and it sucks. But like it's usually not a constant. So
who's that nerd? Who's that nerd who's the stat guy?
Urkel, the Penn State guy.
No. The nerd who always does all the advanced stats. What the Sharp.
Warren Sharp.
He posted something earlier. Sacks allowed last year. But hold on, I'm just going to put it in perspective. I'm going to put it in perspective. Baltimore. Okay, so the most sacks allowed last year was the Giants, 85. The next closest team, it was 2 teams, Washington and Carolina at 65. Then 64, Tennessee and New York and the Jets. Okay, then you go all the way down to 52 for Denver. The Ravens allowed 41 sacks, 41 with the Colts and the Jags. And I'm pretty sure the Jags invested pretty heavily in their offensive line. And the Colts have a really good offensive line. So I think, this offensive line is going to be better than last year, I believe.
It will. And I also sharp stats because, they're not – I would want to know what.
This is an advanced stat, though. This is just a number. This is just
right.
Really, the whole point of this, the entire point of this, is that Hard Knocks is going on, and I didn't watch it, but it seems like the they're talking about how bad the offensive line. Like they're saying Patrick Mahomes would get killed behind that offensive line. That's basically what the front office leadership of the Giants was saying about their offensive line from last year, which
the
obviously
Giants
the
also
stats
said that
support
why
that.
would we pay Daniel Jones $40 million a year and then pay to hand off to Saquon Barkley for $12 million a year, so that we're gonna not franchise Saquon. So clearly the Giants are retarded. Think we're all.
Oh, they are.
That's how offensive though. Like, so do you think we try and get like more like beefier on the offensive line or like more athletic?
More athletic.
More athletic.
Athletic, 100%.
Is the monking. Okay. So beefy, slow guys. Cole Jackson.
Yeah, I was about to say
a
that
heart
did
attack
sound
if I tried to explain
crazy,
this, but like, you know, we're looking for pulling guards and guys who can, you know, move on the offensive line. Greg Roman was kind of old school offenses are the ones who we're looking for. You block the guy in front of you, and that's all you can. Yeah, we're not looking for that.
Don't sleep on Solid, and Solid might try Pete for that right guard position because I could see him pulling. He might be like a good pulling tight end. I mean, guard. But I just hope y'all. I hope we got like a goal line pack.
Yeah, you put Patrick Ricard and Derrick Henry, like Montante just said. I mean, you're not stopping that. You are not stopping Patrick Ricard and Derrick Henry.
We had like a some shit like
put Falele on, in the backfield too. Put Falele in as like a fucking second fullback, and you're not Derrick Henry walking in the end zone every time.
Minnesota did that with Falele a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's why guys like that exist for weird goal line packages if you're not going to start them. So, I mean, fuck it, why not? Like, I'm cool with that.
That could be his spot. That could be.
And the thing is that Derrick Henry has spent his entire career getting fucking murdered in the backfield because Tennessee sucks. You know,
Tennessee
like their offensive line has been terrible.
Trash.
And I think it was like a yard behind the line, which is what he averaged last year, where somebody would make first contact with him. Mm-hmm. Like he's going to get 2 to 3 yards before anybody even touches him. He might put up like 20.
I believe, and I believe that the stat stat for the Ravens running.
My bad.
Why are you spoiling it? I'm a little behind.
Watching the game. That shit popping up. Because it's popping up on my screen.
I think part of that,
part of the
downfalls is Taylor Llewellyn went down, or after he decided to
Taylor
retire.
Llewellyn started caring more about putting out shitty podcasts than fucking football.
But I think that's the Ravens stat for first contact was like 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and Derrick Henry was getting hit 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. So just right there, you have a net of +3 on every touch the guy gets is insane because he still had a really good year.
Look what he did in high school when he would get space, and look what he did in college when he would get space. And yeah, that was a fucking long time ago. He's got a lot more tread on the tires than he used to, but like. It's going to be a nice breath of fresh air for him that he's not going to get the shit kicked out of him the second he touches the ball.
Right. Yeah, and he's still, with the ball in his hands and with space, he still is one of the fastest players on the field. When he gets open field, despite his size, he still can outrun basically anybody.
That is why he's one of the fastest players.
I hate to say this.
6'3",
hate to say this, but he's a Bama running back. What do you expect?
Yeah, right. Like you got to spoon feed him, good blocking and holes to run through.
Yeah, you got to remember, even historically, I mean, he had fucking Ryan Tannehill, and everybody knew he was getting the ball.
No,
you know what I mean?
Ryan Tannehill's made him. In fact, Ryan Tannehill used to go to his high school games and coach him up on the sideline to make sure that he actually performed well. Nobody really knows that except for Thomas.
There's an original Thomas who probably was at January 6th. We haven't heard from him in a while.
Oh, shit.
Who wrote an article blog stating that Ryan Tannehill made Derrick Henry, and that Derrick Henry was going to like struggle. That was a thing. Yeah, no, that was a real.
Well, he correlated the switch to Ryan Tannehill from from Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, Mariota.
With Derrick Henry's like emergence, I guess, like his ascendance into being a bell cow. They switched offensive coordinators too. Like everything changed at that time.
But
so like, I mean, I guess if you really want to be stupid and say it was Ryan Tannehill, that was the reason. But all those things changed at the same time. They stopped using Derrick Henry as a right.
That was Ryan Tannehill. That Texas A&M alum went to Nick Saban and said, "Hey, you run this fucking Derrick Henry kid. He's good." Per sources, that happened.
The former wide receiver, former college wide receiver.
I'm still shocked we got Derrick Henry, but
I forget honestly that we have him sometimes. Like sometimes I'll find myself getting pissed off about the offense, and I'll be like, "Oh shit, we got Henry."
Well, with the way that people talk about the Ravens, that like we're gonna suck, and crown.
Oh, you got an old ass in the back. He ain't going to do shit. This and that.
Well, those are the two things you get. Is people will slander Derrick Henry for being old.
Shitty ass offensive line, and I mean, we got 3 starters that's coming, but Coach D, he know how to coach offensive linemen real good.
I'm pretty positive we could put Will at right tackle, and Derrick Henry would still rush for 1,500 yards this year. Yeah, I think he could. With Will at right tackle.
Will could go low. Will could go low. Take some guys out.
You call it going low. It's just
the old-fashioned chop block.
Yeah.
Will versus Max Crosby. I think that's
biting kneecaps, going Detroit Lions style.
Will would just be like, "Hey,
sorry, Dan Campbell."
Max Crosby, pissed off and all out of sorts.
Take out a couple ankles, get some guys down.
I still can't believe Max Crosby said N-word on camera last year. Nobody talks about.
Wait, what?
One of the most underreported things of all time is he just in a Twitter video said the N-word, or it was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was Will definitely pretty sure it was Will who pointed it out to me, but it was a
get that stupid fucking comment off the screen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What is that?
Hey, you're the one who put me in charge of comments.
Yeah, that was.
What did my
outside of Lamar Jackson?
He's a Jets fan.
This dude's a Jets fan. That's why. That's
outside of Lamar Jackson. The Ravens have a bottom 5 offense, and the lone bright spot would be Derrick Henry. Your Ahmad Gardner's overrated. Aaron Rodgers cares more about ayahuasca than football. Brees Hall sucks balls. I don't know who else to slander.
And the owner of the Jets, is responsible for killing people with the COVID vaccine.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah. How do you support Montante? How do you support the Jets when your owner profited from COVID vaccine?
The Jet fans, they got
input being what was he for the U.S.
I think we have to get Montante on here at some point because I need him to. He's clearly now, like I said last week, he's into delusional Jet fan mode. So this is when we want to talk to him.
Oh, he really a Jets fan.
Oh yeah, he's a big Jets fan.
Oh yeah, big time.
I don't be seeing them in the Jets community.
They probably in the Jets community, my assumption.
I was in the Jets space earlier, and they said that their defense is better than ours. I said, man, I don't know what y'all smoking.
Woody Johnson is the cause of Brexit.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Wasn't he the ambassador to? Wasn't he the ambassador to Ireland or something?
I think so.
But isn't Ireland and Great Britain all the same now?
I'm looking at.
Or I'm mistaking him with one of the Steelers.
Maybe.
Has anyone heard of any updates on Jason Voorhees or Andrew Voorhees?
That's what I was just going to say. I mean, I assume he's probably going to be
Jason Voorhees. Friday the 13th is coming out with some movies.
Okay, I messed that up a little bit. Woody Johnson was the ambassador to the UK, and one of the what do you call them? The Steelers owners. What the fuck are their names? The
Rooney family.
The Rooney. One of the Rooneys was the ambassador to Ireland.
So your is also a traitor in the States and supports one of their enemies. So that's great franchise you're running there in New York.
Considering tomorrow is Independence Day, so
1776 people forget. Fuck the UK.
Not me.
Some people forget.
About Voorhees.
Yeah, so Jason Voorhees, prolific serial killer. Andrew Voorhees should be a pretty good guy.
Yeah, I assumed Voorhees was going to have to start
his relative right? Andrew, though.
Yeah, I mean he's going to start. It's which guard? It's which guard does he start?
Which guard does he start at? Yeah.
So are we assuming
he has a serial killer mentality?
I thought he was a guard.
That's what I was thinking.
Ben Cleveland's 2/3 of a retard, so I don't know if he's going to actually be physically able to start.
Well, last year he actually passed his conditioning test, so.
Right, but the issue is that it appears to not be able to run an organized play because he's got the mental capacity of a rock. So
we've also got another guest popping in. Mr. Tattoo on his ass.
Oh, we got Calvin.
Oh shit!
Wait, you're actually not. Are you at work?
Wait, I was gonna say, are you on a smoke break right now? What is this?
Yeah. So I'm
on a vape break.
I got 30 minutes left, but
Calvin joined us from the walk-in freezer at his restaurant. What is he?
Man, Calvin is a celebrity. That man going viral, man. He can do whatever he wants.
So
special guest on the Calvin Ripken show.
Say what? Say that again.
What man's name are you trying to get tattooed on your ass? It needs to be your thing now. So.
You know what?
It's got to come naturally. It's just in the moment.
That's fair. That's fair.
Calvin, I got an idea for you, Calvin.
What's up, man?
Rashod Bateman get over 5 touchdowns, 1,000 yards.
I don't want that bum-ass motherfucker on my body. Get the fuck out.
No, look, you got to get the Balenciaga tattoo on your ass.
Yo, if he comes on this podcast, he comes on this podcast, I'll agree to that. But until
you got to get a Louis Vuitton bag tattooed on your ass.
He might come on here now. I don't know.
We got to clip that. Rashod, you come on the podcast. Calvin will name tattooed on his ass.
Yeah.
Well, he was just on last week.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah,
talk.
Okay, but I do have to go. I just want to say what's up. Later, boys.
All right, see you, Calvin.
Man, you just said you had 30 minutes.
You just say 30, right?
He said he had 30 minutes, not 36. I mean, to be fair, Calvin is great with numbers or speaking or anything that involves intellectual activity.
Words or anything else.
No, he just makes TikToks with his fellow.
Calvin was born
people.
for TikTok. Calvin was born for that's like his.
Yeah, I gotta get back. I gotta get back active on TikTok, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta follow Calvin.
I've never seen a single video from Calvin on TikTok, but I'm sure that that's what he's meant for.
Well, for a second there, it was between him and Robert.
Bob.
Yeah, Bob was like Bob was like blowing up on TikTok, wasn't he?
Bob used to just fucking read my tweets on TikTok. He'd put up a green screen and like a picture of him like pointing at my tweet like this, and then it would fucking get like 8 million views. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting small children in my mentions.
Yeah, it's so much shit you could do. It's so much shit you could do on TikTok, man.
Yeah, I only have TikTok to make sure my son isn't anything stupid on there. Only thing
is he on TikTok? Then he
is.
Stupid on.
No, it's just
giving his information to the Chinese.
Stupid
Chinese government
baseball stuff.
Yeah, but the Chinese government now knows your family exists.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah. They just all copy and paste the same shit.
Bro, you can find anything on TikTok, whatever you want to do. Search the search bar, they gonna pull that shit.
Yeah, and then China stores that I search that, and then all of a sudden they're gonna start like mailing shit to my house. And
I can't wait till the season start though, because
So Trippy, what coach
it is kind of like
Mike's gone, Greg's gone. You know who's your
Todd,
guy?
Yeah, he got a yellow Todd. I was gonna say he's got to be Todd.
What about Zach?
No,
you got to give Zach a minute to get his feet wet.
Here's the thing, though, is I'm pretty sure y'all had this conversation towards the end of last week's episode, but Trippy here fell asleep.
Yes.
Oh, he was asleep for most of it.
Man, you gotta blame Will for that shit, man.
I mean,
what day was that?
Did I
do?
Was that
on a Friday?
It was Wednesday.
That was Wednesday.
No, it was Friday last week. Thursday.
Will kept saying, make sure you're on, y'all. All right. The
well,
last thing
credit
I
Trippy showed up.
Drew was saying something about.
Maybe it was Friday. No,
it wasn't Friday because we went to the game Friday.
It was either Wednesday or Thursday. It was the Red Sox got rained out or they were off.
Oh, no, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday.
Yeah, get the days right. It wasn't Thursday because me and Will went to the game Friday.
It was.
You guys were at
Wednesday and Friday.
You guys were at one of the.
We went there Friday too, but it was Wednesday.
Thursday. I mean, unless Will was there by himself or something Thursday, but I wasn't there.
No.
What's the Orioles score, Will?
6 days
4-0
ago.
Orioles.
It's 4-0 Orioles.
I think.
Yeah, no, it was 6-26.
Oh, I wonder what just happened.
This wasn't a gotcha journalism. This was I didn't actually know what the score was.
Oh no, yeah, it's 4-0, and I thought you were trying to get me because Dean Kramer is having his,
Oh yeah, let's talk about Dean. Let's talk about the return of the king.
His scheduled meltdown where he's putting guys on, but I think they pulled him. Before he gave up the home run. You can set your watch to.
Let's talk about the Messiah returning.
Did he have any home runs? I mean, strikeouts.
He had 7, I think.
Dang.
What are the
8
Mariners?
He had 8
next week.
Yeah, 8 strikeouts. That's
my
guy.
Hey, Drew, you can't talk, man, because I've been putting your team on my parlay, man, and y'all been fucking my parlay up, man. Like y'all couldn't even decide.
What's funny is in baseball,
Padres,
my team and Drew's team are rivals.
What are you, a Yankee fan?
Yep.
Why?
We got Yankee fan on? What the hell?
What the fuck is going on here?
What the fuck is this shit?
Dang, yo, we might as well bring Zay Flowers on. See
Toronto fan.
Yeah, where was Zay? Zay was up in Toronto, right?
Yeah, my man Zay said, man, I don't know nothing about baseball.
I'm a casual though. After that whole thing with the Astros, I just went downhill. I stopped following baseball.
Yeah,
so,
Yankees have
twice this offseason. The Blue Jays have infiltrated the Ravens because Derrick Henry was sitting courtside at the Mavericks game wearing a fucking Blue Jays hat, and then we had Zay Flowers in Toronto on the field wearing. I don't give a fuck. There's a lot of goddamn blue hats out there.
And Tavius Robinson.
Well, Tavius Robinson,
he's Canadian.
Pass from Canada, so
I was about to say, isn't he Canadian?
Yeah.
I mean,
remember Remember EDC did that thing, he trolled the what's it called? The Ravens podcast, the one that Ryan and Garrett did. What is that?
Lounge.
What is it called? The Lounge,
Jeez.
yeah. He trolled them. He just made up a story and was like, yeah, Tavius Robinson, I heard about him because somebody said he was a great hockey goalie. So I was scouting him as a hockey goalie, and I thought he had some
a Leo thing, because only me and you heard that.
No, everybody heard that. Will just doesn't acknowledge those kind of jokes outside of June.
Yeah, you can't talk about his guy, Ryan.
I didn't hear it.
I called it the gays. Ryan makes homosexual.
Bro, they were scared to ask E. Bro, they were scared to ask ET questions. I would have been there like, so ET, man, so in the draft class, something. Yeah, like they were scared, man.
They are scared. EDC is their employer. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I ain't gonna lie though. EDC do give you this little look, like he'll give you this little mean ass look where you probably be scared of shit to say.
That's a Massachusetts thing.
Oh, that's a Massachusetts thing.
Yeah, well versed in that. That's the look that I give the Dunkin' Donuts, cashier every fucking morning.
You had to say don't.
Westberg just stretched a little bloop single into a double. Fuck yeah, needed that.
Hey, I was gonna say, speaking of the Blue Jays, my brother brought this. What about bringing Gossman back with the Blue Jays in the
team? I'm totally into that. 100%. I'm into that.
Me too. I hadn't thought of it. I mean, I know it's not likely they trade in the division. Yeah. I get it, but just
y'all do not want to win the
World Series. And another name I'm seeing linked to us a lot is Hunter Harvey, and I wouldn't hate that.
That's very.
I met Hunter Harvey's girlfriend when the Orioles played at Fenway when the Orioles sucked, and he I forget, he gave up some massive home run or something like that, and she left and she asked for a security escort out because she thought she was going to get harassed. I'm like, nobody knows who you are. It's fine, sweetheart.
Nobody knows who you are. I don't know if Kevin Gaussman's still with the same girl, but his girlfriend,
daughter threw out the first pitch. I saw it on Twitter. That's the only reason I know.
I bet it is the same girl. His girlfriend, they met at LSU. She's
starting
like an American dream wife. Like she's an LSU cheerleader. They're very beautiful.
Hey, Will,
look her up.
We're gonna start breaking down the position battles for training because
sure.
Yeah, I got about
next week. We're gonna have 2 minutes. Oh yeah, 15 minutes. That's perfect timing.
Oh yeah,
we meet our timing. But
15 minutes.
What position battles? What ones are intriguing?
Wide receiver, cornerback. Because I was listening to I can't even remember her name. Hannah John or Johanna John Han. Oh, Johanna Han, something, whatever her name is. I forgot.
Who are you trying to talk about,
person. Yeah,
bro? You remember she was at Pickles? Oh yeah, you wasn't there that day. She was at Pickles. She right for the Baltimore Banner. But basically, she was saying and I agree with her. She was basically saying what battles do you see? Is it a standout battle? She's saying most of the battles is just for depth. You see what I'm saying? So now we just basically
true.
Who gonna be the fourth receiver? Who gonna, you know what I mean? Shit like that. So
we gotta be on Trade Watch too. Trade Watch is active.
Who we trading for?
Judon. There's a lot of chatter going on about Judon right now.
I would love to bring Judon back.
Why?
I mean, I would love to bring Judon back, but it's just
I'm all in on Judon. Bring him back.
Judon. Why do you want him?
Trippy, what do you think about this? Hold
on.
Move on. His big ass head here.
I like that.
See his big ass head? Hold up.
I can't even see the dog, bro. All I see is
hold on, you'll see it. Come on.
Judon is a year removed from 15.5 sacks. I'm all
Judon is a year removed from fucking getting, it's 6 years removed from getting a sack in December. So why the fuck do I want him here?
Look, my thing is, right, I'll be very with you.
I mean,
I would love to have him back because I just feel like his energy brings something to the defense.
Again, Tom loves Star Wars. Tom says Star Wars is a great movie because he remembers when he was a kid, his dad took him to see the first fucking Star Wars, and then it was a great movie.
Star Wars reality, right here.
But the reality is the new Star Wars suck balls, but Tom won't admit that because he loved the old Star Wars because of the nostalgic feeling he gets. It's the same thing with Matthew Judon. It was cool. He was here. He was fine while he was here. Fuck him. I don't want him here.
Here's the thing, though. He was here with Wink having him do dumb shit.
Kayvon Thibodeau put up enough sacks. Kayvon Thibodeau was fine with Wink. So, and don't talk shit about my Michigan defensive coordinator.
I would like to see Judon in the current scheme.
Drew don't want Judon back because he already know when his Michigan's playing time. But like I said,
Judon probably didn't tip Drew or some shit when he bought a beer from him that way.
No, Judon doesn't. Judon's got some other issues going on up here that leave him stuck in this.
That's fair.
I think he could definitely be like a good fit for us, like defense. But I just feel like he gonna take playing time away from somebody.
I do not want Matthew Judon back. I do not want Calais Campbell back. I do not want any retreads.
Well, Calais
no Campbell. No Campbell. Campbell was already.
Calais Campbell signed with the Dolphins.
I know he was a leader, but he was way out.
Yeah, he was on his way out.
I mean, again, we just have these.
What about Yannick? Bringing him back?
I don't know, man.
He signed somewhere. I thought.
Did he?
Did he sign somewhere? It says he's a free agent right now.
I think he signed with the Bears.
I don't think he did.
It was talks, but they never put anything in the.
Yeah, I think he's available right now.
If he's gonna be like a pass specialist, yeah.
Right. If he's a vet minimum and he's like your,
right.
Jihad Ward, Pernell McPhee guy, then yeah, fine. I don't want him to come in and again, we traded a second round pick for him. Like
he signed with the Colts.
No, that was last year.
He signed with the Colts.
Was it?
Yeah,
that was last year.
Yeah, that was last season.
It was a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
I don't think he's available right now.
I don't think he's signed anywhere yet. But my whole thing with it, like, if you're bringing him in to be, a pass rush specialist who's going to play 35 or 40% of snaps, fine, whatever. I don't care. But like, I'm not looking to bring in a retread to start. You know what I mean? It didn't work the first time.
Oh no, I agree. I'm thinking a guy just all they do is rush the passer.
But so if you bring in Matthew
Judon, Smith,
kind of like what they did with JPP though.
Right, but if you bring in like a Matthew
Smith,
Judon,
though, it might work.
If you bring in a Matthew Judon type guy, you're bringing him in to start. Like, that is a guy that you're not going to acquire and pay. I think he's due like $16 million this year or something like that. And so you're probably going to have to pay him.
Judon's expensive, yeah.
But you're going to have to pay him and then you're not paying $8 million a year for a guy that you're going to play for, a third of the snaps. So at that point, he's going to, you're almost forced to start him. Like, I'm not interested in getting in that situation. If you can bring in Yannick for $4 million, yeah, fuck it, do it. I don't care. Like, at that point, that becomes like you're collecting depth who has, NFL experience and has done well in the NFL in, multiple decades at this point. So let's do it.
So Judon's cap hit would be at Judon's cap hit at most would be $6.5 million, and if we extended him, I'm saying if we extended him, the cap hit goes down if you extend him.
Right.
Then I don't want to extend him though. Why would you put money in?
Because he wants a new contract. That's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly. So he wants more money. He wants to get paid for not producing.
The 6.5 is the cap hit is 6.5, but his actual compensation is higher than that. It's just the way that the contract.
We're going to do that. No, we got to still sign Kyle Hamilton.
I think he's getting paid. I think he's getting paid like $11 million, something like that, or
Matthew
9 or 10 or something like that.
Can lick my fucking balls when he gets a sack in the game in January. Like I don't understand. The Patriots fans did the same shit to me. They're like, oh, you held him back for years, 11 and a half sacks, and then he finished the season with 12 sacks. And it's like, yeah, where the fuck was he after November? After Thanksgiving comes around, he gets fat on turkey and doesn't fucking care anymore.
Oh, shit, my phone already died.
Well.
I think Tripp is gone. He's gone.
I think he's plugging it in.
Or he's going to find a charger. We'll know in a few minutes. That's my thing with, like, guys like Jude. I'm looking for people who are going to win a Super Bowl who show up in fucking December, January, and February, not some fucking front runner in the beginning of the year.
Right, but those guys aren't just sitting out there right now. I mean, we're basically talking about, picking up scraps. Or,
yeah, exactly. I want to go pick up the next fucking Kyle Van or next, somebody who's going to, is not can't get a job somewhere else, so you're paying him no money. Is Justin Simmons still available? Like a guy like that, who can help out your secondary. Like a guy that you're not bringing him at this point expecting him to play some massive role. But he is way better than the role you're paying him to fill. And so he's going to exceed expectations. Again, Michael Thomas won an offensive player of the year. If you are bringing him in now, you're not expecting him to be your wide receiver 2. You're expecting him to be your wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4. And he's far better than anybody you have on the roster. You're wide receiver 4 right now. So
I don't know about 4, maybe wide receiver 5.
Is he better than Rashod Bateman?
Well, I guess it depends on where you think Rashod Bateman is on the depth chart. Right now, probably not.
If he's remotely healthy.
Yo, he hate Michael Thomas so bad.
He's one
man.
of your top 4 wide receivers. Rashod Bateman is Michael Thomas better than him? Yes or no?
Yeah. Answer
the question.
If he's remotely healthy, yes.
No.
Michael Thomas is not better than
yes
Rashod Bateman.
at this moment. At this moment, if he's healthy, yes.
In 2020,
No.
Since I would assume that Michael Thomas has put up at least the same numbers as Rashod Bateman since he got drafted.
I'm looking right now.
Probably half the game.
He absolutely has.
Probably half the game.
How many career touchdowns does Bateman have?
3, 4.
Yeah, Michael Thomas has 4 in the last 2 years.
Yeah. Will,
So
I've put Will in a mental pretzel here because he has hated Michael Thomas on the podcast for weeks and hates Rashod Bateman. Doesn't know what to do.
Yannick, I think Yannick is the move though. By the way, because he had a down year last year, but he had the year after he left here, he had 10 sacks in Vegas, and then he had 9.5 in Indy. He's going into his year 29 season, so like he's not old.
Right,
for a pass rusher.
If you're bringing him in and you're expecting him to be a rotational guy, then fuck it.
Exactly right.
The problem again was last time they brought him in, they had Wink had him doing dumb shit like fucking.
The last time they brought him in,
he
was the only guy available in the trade market needed a pass rusher. It was a stupid move. It was just we need to make a move, and this is the guy that's there. And he didn't work. It is what it is. But I'd bring him in before I bring Judon in. I'd bring him in before I'd bring a lot of guys in at this point.
The good thing about Yannick would be you bring him in to be a rotational pass rusher, but if he is going off, then he just turns into a starter.
Right.
A guy who gets the majority of those.
Yeah, because that's if guys we bring in now, you need to bring in with a rotational spot in mind. And then if they start out playing the starter, you can always promote them to the starter. You don't want to bring in guys now that you're relying on to fill big time roles.
Yeah, and I don't see that's where I think the brain dead morons of this fan base who shit on EDC and his roster construction. He has, I think, over the past 2 years built a team because of the way that the injuries fucked us for those 2 years in a row. He's built a team that's sort of I don't say injury proof, but it's built to be resilient when someone goes down because it's going to happen, even if it's short term, whatever. This team is built. And that's part of the positionless football they play on defense too, where they kind of move guys around. But you always have a guy who can slide in and contribute. It might not be to the level of the guy that he's replacing, but then someone else can step up in a different role. So EDC has done an excellent job, I think, of stocking the shelves where we don't see a huge drop off. Fucking Keegan Aiken, god damn it!
The fuck's an
motherfucker? Gave up a home run. Comes in, gives up a fucking home run.
So. But as of right now,
EDC's ever failed at is wide receiver.
So I got on to StatHead to compare Michael Thomas and Rashod Bateman for their first 3 seasons. Michael Thomas.
No, not their first 3 seasons. Not their first 3 seasons.
The last 3 seasons.
The last 3 seasons.
Okay, I'll change the filter. Okay.
Yeah, change the filter.
No, it's got to be because it's got to be real life comparison.
It's got to be since Bateman came into the league.
So it'd be 2021 to 2024. Michael Thomas.
Yeah, because he didn't play Bateman's first year.
So Rashod, according to the 2020 or their last 3 seasons, Rashod Bateman does beat out Michael Thomas.
Okay, but who played more games?
By how many yards? It's 13 yards.
No, significant.
Michael Thomas had 1,057. Rashod Bateman is 1,167.
See, exactly.
Yeah, 100 yards. Fuck cares.
Yeah,
fuck cares.
All right, Mr. Accountant, that's 10%.
Who has more touchdowns?
Touchdowns are equal. More 4 each.
But they're both 4.
4, yeah.
Who played more games?
Rashod Bateman at 34.
Okay, so Michael Thomas scores more often.
Oh, so can we do per game production then?
That is always the pivot.
There's no pivot here. This is your dumbass.
This is just stat for stat.
That's stat for stat.
Every stat so far has been either equal or Rashod Bateman's ahead.
But Bateman's played more games.
How many offenses Rashod Bateman won?
We're doing 2020 through 2023. That's the window.
How many offensive players of the year has Rashod Bateman won? None.
How many MVPs has Peyton Manning won? What the fuck does it matter? Could call him up to be the backup quarterback if we want. It doesn't fucking matter. This shit happened in a different decade.
Retard.
Whose ceiling is higher? Rashod Bateman's.
How?
Now, Michael Thomas does have 95 receptions over Bateman's 30 or 93.
Hey, Will,
what we got for yards per
Bateman
catch?
Post Will picture, now you want to take up for him, man.
Tom, that would be bad for us. Don't answer it.
I'm taking up for him over this fucking guy who shouldn't be in the league anymore.
Bateman at 12.5, Thomas at 11.1.
Oh man, that didn't work out the way you wanted it to.
Tom, just for clarity, Thomas had less yards and more catches. That wouldn't work out for him. So we should not ask those questions.
Oh, that's fair shit. Yeah.
And Bateman for fantasy points, Bateman at 140.5, Thomas at 129.8.
Nobody cares about fantasy football. What the fuck are we doing here?
Definitely not me.
My God.
I don't do it anymore.
Well, here's the thing. Michael Thomas is better than Rashod Bateman. You know it. You won't admit it because you have some fucking vendetta against Michael Thomas. It's fine.
He sucks. That's my vendetta. He stinks, and I don't want him anywhere near the team.
Shit,
You're stuck with Bateman.
On film, stat. Hold on.
Pull up
Here's
Michael
the thing.
Thomas' first 3 years in this league. His first 3 seasons in the league. That shit.
That was 10 years ago.
That
was 10 years ago.
Stats versus film.
I don't fuck if it was 20 years ago.
Drew had hair 10 years ago.
A healthy Mike.
I don't know if
a healthy Michael Thomas on the Ravens, bro. He would do numbers.
I mean, I've been shaving my head for what? I could grow hair. I think would be the more accurate.
Drew didn't have a beard 10 years ago.
I don't know. Did you?
I think I had a goatee.
That was the Clay Aiken days. He was clean shaven back then. That was Drew's American. That was Drew's American Idol years.
No, because that was like you're talking like that was like 2010. So that was more than 10 years ago.
2014.
Damn, that was a long. Damn. 2010.
I wasn't allowed to have facial hair on my college baseball team because my coach thought he was fucking running the Yankees.
Y'all had to be clean shaven? Shit.
He was a fucking loon. I could tell some stories about him. He's a coach at a D1 program right now, so I'll omit his name.
Y'all had to have David Wells.
Yeah, the way that he used to punish us and make us stand between second base and third base and just smoke ground balls at us, and we couldn't have a glove. We just have to eat a whole bucket of balls. Yeah.
What? No gloves? Shit.
Oh, he'd be in prison if there was people that knew the fucking torture that he used to put us through.
That's wild.
We forgot the helmets for a game once. Somebody's parent went to the school and brought them, behind us, so we didn't have helmets in the top of the first inning. We were the home team, so we weren't hitting. So we had helmets for the whole game that day. Nobody would have known the difference. We got back to our campus. There was a soccer field in the back with no lights on it. He made us line up with all the equipment and run wind sprints with holding equipment until I think it was like 3:30 in the morning. And then the cops came and said, "Why are you guys out here?" And he's like, "Oh, because they forgot the helmets." And then he made us go home. The police made him stop punishing.
This sounds like my college wrestling coach was coaching baseball too.
We also put his car on cinder blocks when we put. We used to steal ice sculptures from the culinary department and put them on his doorstep. So we deserve some of it.
Trippy, did you just hear that? Tom, even though he's got that weird Texas accent now, he's still got a little Maryland in him. Did you hear how he said two?
Yeah, I hear that. It comes out every now and again.
That's like Drew when he gets real heated on the podcast. He starts talking like EDC.
I can't tell the difference.
When I try to,
we have one more topic we need to cover here,
and I got 3 minutes to do it. So let's get cracking.
What we got?
This is
Mark Schlereth. So I guess Mark Schlereth couldn't get the invite to go on PMT and piss his pants on camera. So he decided he was going to
the boys stink.
he's going to use Lamar's name for attention in the offseason.
I just got a question from Mark Schlereth. I got a question from Mark Schlereth. I want somebody to clip this and tweet it to him. So you talk about developing things. Your son Daniel pitched for the Tigers. Came out of the gate pretty good as a relief pitcher, and then people figured him out, and he couldn't develop another pitch. So then he had a 10.8 ERA and then never pitched in the majors again. So are you talking about lack of development because you watch your son fucking fail? Or are you talking about lack of development because you got carried by John Elway? And the only reason that you had an NFL career is that you were on, in a fucking Shanahan offense with elite running backs and an elite quarterback. And you never actually developed any talent, just fucking, rode coattails to success. Fucking pussy.
And peed your pants.
I didn't realize that Schlereth had gone the fucking Stephen A. Smith route, the hot take route.
He really hasn't.
Somebody sent it to me. Yeah. Well, no, somebody sent it to me in the DMs. Like, what are your thoughts? I was like, who gives a fuck? It's the beginning of July. Nothing's happening in the NFL at all. There's nothing interesting happening. So this is.
But he doesn't have a functioning brain to begin with, so I don't know if he can get.
It's actually no. Listen, if you have any sort of a following, then
he doesn't have.
And you're, well, he kind of does. I mean, he is who he is. You know who he is. But talking about Lamar Jackson is going to get people talking, listening.
Yeah, it's going to do numbers. It's going to do numbers, right?
Right. It's the off season, and everybody. Lamar Jackson's the easiest guy in the world for these people to.
It's lazy as fuck, but it's going to do numbers.
So there was a girl today, that Julia girl, who's a big Ravens and Orioles fan. She brought up that Montelanos girl again, that quarterback retard. And I just remembered that's exactly what Mark Schlereth is doing. Like that was the most viewed thing Monte Blanos has ever done in her life, and it blew up in her face like 3 days later. And I'm sure this Mark Schlereth is going to blow back in his fucking face in 3 months, and he's going to run and hide from it. And he's going to pretend that he never said it. He's going to be like, oh, this is out of context, blah, blah. Richard Sherman did the same thing. This is all they ever fucking do with Lamar Jackson. You play with his name.
This is one of the dumber. Yeah, this is one of the more stupid fucking. His angle is so ridiculous to me that somehow Lamar Jackson is responsible for developing wide receivers. That's not his job. His job is to play quarterback. So he's won 2 MVPs. He's got the 1 seed in the playoffs. 1 seed in the AFC 2 times. He's doing his job. It's the coaching staff's job to develop players and the player themselves. It's not the fucking quarterback's job to develop a wide receiver. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to say this somewhat controversial, might hurt some feelings. Mark Schlereth likes white pocket passers as quarterbacks. I promise you that if you asked him on the record who his favorite quarterbacks are, he may not say they're white pocket passers, but he will name Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, John Elway, those kind of guys. And they all develop little-known late-round pick, and that's how he thinks all quarterbacks should work, is that they should be, articulate poster boys who, again, white, don't run the ball, and throw checkdowns to some fucking Julian Edelman type guy, okay? So this is where all his takes – I don't know if it's racist or he's just so fucking stupid that he doesn't realize that he is, pushing along racial shit that people say about Lamar. But that's where he comes from on all this. So
I think the thing of this is that the Ravens' failure to develop wide receivers goes back to goes back 8 fucking quarterbacks before Lamar. He's not smart enough to realize that or figure that out because Lamar's the hot button. Lamar.
You can blame Lamar if you want. You can blame Joe Flacco. You can blame every other person that's played quarterback for the Ravens.
You can fairly blame Kyle Bowler.
Yeah, but I mean, so you can either
you can also blame Chris Redmond.
Those are the 2 routes that you can go, though. You can individualize and look at every quarterback for the Ravens and say, oh, no, this guy just wasn't good enough to develop wide receivers under him. Or you can say, oh, maybe there's a fucking systematic failure and that they've never been able to develop wide receivers. And none of them, again, you're expecting a guy who pees his pants and does Red Man Chew on Part of My Take and played offensive line in the NFL to sells tires probably or cars or whatever the fuck he does with his life now.
No, he sells like some kind of salsa or some shit. I don't know.
Is he on a radio?
Oh, does he?
I assume.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like he's just trying to stay relevant.
I assume he's on a local ESPN radio. Nobody listens to fucking sports radio anymore. Terrestrial radio is dead.
He used to do commentary for games, right? So
he's probably he realized that he was retarded and string sentences together, so they stopped putting him on air.
So I got a quick topic for everyone before we actually all decide to go to bed or do what we want to do. Thanks to Kevin Ostreicher for this but I miss him, and it's a random defensive back.
Kevin Ostrich lover does not retweet anything, so let's get that correct on the record.
That's true. That's true. He reposts things from his own account.
He copies somebody else's tweet and then puts it on his account and then credits them in the comment. So let's be fair here.
But anyways, this dude zapped by Zay tweeted out, "I miss him," and it's a random defensive back. Kevin put Ladarius Webb.
Did he post a picture of Ladarius Webb from the Ravens or from his Pop Warner day?
The Ravens or interception with the Ravens against, I think it was the Jets.
Fair.
I don't even know.
I'm gonna say Jimmy Smith.
That's not random, though.
He was a first
round pick. No, that's not random.
Yeah.
Kerry Williams.
I know who I'm going to.
Frank Walker.
If you guys don't know who I'm going to say, If you guys don't know who I'm going to say, then you just don't know me.
Tom Zivkowski.
Well. Yep, you got it.
Zivkowski.
White and went to Notre Dame. That's the most on-brand thing for Will of all time.
I'm going to say, actually, no. Nakamura.
Yeah, Nakamura was solid.
I would definitely go with Kara Williams.
Solid.
That was.
Oh, you know who was solid? For a minute, Will Demps was solid.
Yeah, he was. And then, of course, Will Hill had that
I have a
very
Will
memorable moment.
And he decided to do drugs. Yeah. I bought it off that Chinese website for like $7.
Trippy, who's your random defensive back that you miss?
If you say Sharice Wright, I'm going to fucking drive to Baltimore and kill you.
Yeah, me too.
I will keep your
If you say Sharice Wright, I'll fight you.
Bro, I couldn't stand that motherfucker. He was so sorry. Yo, you know what?
Robert Jackson.
I'll say somebody random. Oh, no, fuck that. My man Cocat. Fuck it. Yeah, Anthony Levine.
Anthony Levine.
Right. Anthony Levine kept was very key, but he kept his shit low key.
Yeah.
He was never supposed to be anything.
I mean, 20
more than he was, but he did a great job when called upon. You know what I mean? But
except for a 2014 divisional round, he didn't do a great job. But that's he never should have been starting that.
What about Gary Baxter? Gary Baxter was underrated for a minute too. He was solid back in like 04.
Yeah, say
Gary Baxter, Chris McAllister. Oh,
Chris McAllister, but you can't really say it. Him. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody tweeted the other day. They said most underrated Raven of all time, Chris McAllister. I'm like, he's a fucking all-pro though. He's an all-pro. He's not underrated.
Hey, what was the box? Remember the box that we had?
All right, yeah. If you say like our fan base is stupid, then I'll go.
Trippy wasn't listening. The boxer we had was Tom Zivkowski.
Oh yeah. Will already brought it.
Yeah, Will likes him. He's Caucasian and went to Notre Dame.
Just the Notre Dame part.
And Caucasian.
That part.
There's a theme. I've never heard you say a nice thing about Ronnie. You kind of like Kyle Hamilton because he's not really, he's kind of like might be half white, I think. So there's a clear.
No, he's half Asian.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's half Asian, isn't he?
He's Korean, I believe.
Yeah,
again,
Korean
or Japanese.
I'm just saying there's a clear pattern there. Considering
his mother Korean, his father black.
Korean. That's what I thought. Yeah, okay.
His father black.
I almost said something, but I stopped myself. I'm not going to say it out loud. I think we can know where I was going to go with that.
Well,
Drew being good.
Yeah.
All right. Trippy wants to go to bed.
I'm okay with making fun of handicap.
That's going to wrap this episode up for this week. Hopefully, we had a game back next week. But on that note,
Grant, if you're a real person, tweet us. Say you watch.
You said who?
Grant, if you're not an AI program, shout out to Grant. Tweet us and say you watch.
Is Grant completely MIA?
Hey, Grant said he ain't coming back to Bateman get over 4 touchdowns in a season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Grant's being AI that he runs through is getting updated, so he'll be back at some point. But he's a hologram, not a real person.
But yeah,
even though I met him,
he's at OTAs.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's actually playing for that. He was playing for that
for
USA
training camp.
He's playing for that USA team that lost to fucking Austria and Japan.
He's going for his 9th consecutive Richmond over 35 league title.
I'm going to tell you what really happened. He was on that team, and they started checking birth certificates and realized that he was 46. So they kicked him off the team.
20,
and then we lost Austria.
That would be fucking great if that actually happened. Grant trying to pass as a 20-year-old and then gets caught.
But yeah, man, I'm about to be on my Jake shit. But anyway,
this episode,
yeah, we're gonna catch y'all next week on episode 118. On that note, it's time for me to die.
Okay, that was good.
Who's doing the see ya?
You.
No. See you.
He said it to himself.
He really did.
Zone 32.